In the fast-moving field of fashion, London leads the way. A trend-setter city with the emphasis on youth.
Eyes away.
Barbara Hulanicki is not the glamorous model she's often mistaken for. She's one of London's top fashion designers and an influential arbiter of style. To a photography session, she brings an exacting standard and a thoroughly professional approach. If Barbara and her husband, Stephen Fitzsimon, walk down London's Kensington High Street with an independent air, it's not surprising. They own part of it in the shape of a brand new department store. What's more, a financial journalist recently included their names in his list of the 6 British business people most representative of the decade. Barbara and Fitz are a very unusual couple. In addition to dressing the dolly, and they practically invented her, they've also brought about an extraordinary social phenomenon, which can be found at Biba, their one and only store.
I started as a fashion illustrator, which I did for about 4 years.
I worked in advertising agencies, rather badly.
We wanted to do something together where my bit was the fashion and Fitz was the business, and this is how it started.
We wanted to do something together in the business sense and the life sense. And it was just a natural that Barbara designed dresses, and I handled the making and selling of them. When we started, a dress was about 15 to 20 pounds.
You know, the prices were very high and you couldn't get exciting, well-cut clothes for little money.
We were selling dresses for 2 pounds.
This is really how we came about.
I didn't know anything very much about business. It's amazing how quickly you learn when it's your money. Every morning we go into the store and Barbara makes sure that every unit is displayed as she wants it for that day. And when the girl arrives, who will be in charge of that unit, her job is to keep it looking as Barbara has set it out.
All these, they look awful like this. Also, I think we ought to make a list of all the colours that are running low. Yes, yeah.
Barbara's elaborate attention to detail, her keen eye and infinite capacity for taking trouble, all add up to the well-cared-for look that is the hallmark of Biba. Each week, 100,000 people who pass through the door sample a unique atmosphere, almost a way of life.
The whole idea is that we are not trying to sell anything to anybody. We are merely putting things into the store in the hope that somebody will come along and buy them. We do not want to be seen to be pushing the customer into anything. People come in, walk around. If they like a dress, they try it on. If they still like it, they buy it.
Before we had a shop, I found it so very frustrating because there were many shops I would have loved to have gone into, but never had the courage because there was this ferocious-looking lady that always approached you and attacked you before you even had a chance to see what was in there.
One rule is if anyone ever says, "Can I help you?" they sack that second.
I think today is fabulous, the way there are no rules for dressing for occasions, because, I mean, now you can wear velvet in the summer, you can wear it in the daytime, you can wear it, you know, any time of the day, or, yeah, I think this is terrific. It's a very exciting time for people because they can really use their imaginations and develop their personalities. You know, people are becoming much more interesting. They're not so grey as they were before. English people have got a tremendous sense of humour, and, you know, if there's something new, they'll try it, and if it doesn't work, they discard it. What we've tried to do is to give a sort of make-believe atmosphere. Everything is so terribly serious and so realistic that I think people just need somewhere to go where it's not down to earth. So that they don't have to buy, they just go in and get an atmosphere, go away, I hope feel happier for it.
I saw some lovely stuff yesterday. You know that man you saw? Could you tell me?
The way we work has evolved out of sheer necessity.
When I have an idea, I have somebody who actually carries it out for me. They will go and contact manufacturers, and watch the colorways, and go right into, you know, all the details of it.
Yes.
Eva isn't here yet, is she, for stockings? I'm getting worried about those colors.
Yeah, gosh. They haven't arrived.
Daphne, can you sort out really the darker shades of every color we're using?
That's the darkest one.
And make fantastic charts of everything, so make sure that everything matches.
So we tried to do last year. It was too late.
Now, you know, another thing that is worrying me, everything worries me at this moment, are all these Italian prints.
Yeah,
I have people scouting all the time for cloth. 5 years ago, you would say, find me some crepe. Now, you have to see everybody's range, because they might be coming up with something really exciting that you wouldn't have dreamt about.
Could we find out when they're actually printing, and then we could go up and have a...
And then there are people on makeup, which is quite complicated.
The amount of work involved to get one small 2 6-minute lipstick on sale can be massive.
I just think they've got too much production on this year.
How about you just sort of getting into a car and going down there and getting all the stuff yourself? And we'll pack it here.
Actually, this other firm are very good.
There is an awful lot of background work which the person in the street doesn't realise goes on.
We work very closely indeed to the time of sale. So you therefore know that you've got to have X amount of fabric costing X value, which will make up into so many garments. This is very easy. The tricky bit comes when you have to decide what garments. This is where Barbara comes in. It is quite possible for Barbara to design something and for us to have it in the store within 7, 8 days. It isn't ideal. But we work on a design delivery cycle of about 3 weeks, which means that we are, on average, right at the moment of sale.
I don't believe in this designing of locking yourself up in a room and sketching for days. Being among a lot of females and knowing exactly what they're talking about, you pick up what they want. And this is the really interesting bit. We concentrate very, very hard on shape. And it's not really the style that changes, it's shapes that change. All the ideas start in London, whatever the journalists say. After the war, the age of the fashionable woman was sort of 35, and that's the age where everybody wanted to be. Paris didn't even see that the age was completely shifting, that the masses were the dollies, and they just couldn't readjust themselves fast enough. A garment has to be sketched so that I can pass it on to Anne in the studio, where the first sample is made up. There are all the accessories like buttons and zips, and this again has to be timed to a specific moment, because if the buttons aren't there, Fitz doesn't get his delivery in the evening.
Yes.
What did they stretch, Maureen?
The back seam.
Look, yes, it's puckering, isn't it? You must ask them to put many more hooks and eyes on, because it looks terrible. Del, can you put the jacket on again? The shape that I think is terrific is very tall and square-shouldered and a bit flat-chested. Unfortunately, there aren't many people like that around, but if you start off building on somebody like that, your clothes will look like that even on chubby people. If you want to look hourglass shape, you just don't buy our clothes. What I want is a turban that they can photograph, but so that they don't have to actually tie it round her head, because if they do it, you know, it doesn't come out looking right.
Pleats in it.
Yes, but try and make it look as natural as possible. After the first sample is made up, it's tried out many, many times, because every fabric behaves differently. It's never the same. You never learn.
I'm told that our turnover per square foot is the highest on earth.
At Biba, business goes on. It's really 3 businesses. There's the creation of a design or idea, followed by its manufacture, and finally, the retail business.
I would say it's a very tough business to be in, excluding the American advertising industry, the toughest one there is. Do these trousers match the coats you've got or not?
They're the men's trousers.
They match the jacket?
Suits, yeah.
And the waistcoats match?
Yeah.
120 from Dennis Day. Where are they?
In Mary's room, Stockholm.
13 guinea ones. They've been checked in again. The delivery at night is what really counts, because that's what you're going to sell the next day. If you don't have it, you won't sell it, and there can be no argument on that. And so what comes through the back door in the evening is all important to the business. If nothing comes in, we'll have probably sold out by 3 o'clock the next afternoon, after which you might as well close the store.
George, can you get in the long coats next, please? The big ones.
So this is a moment of tension.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the short ones aren't going? No?
Well, sort of.
What do you mean, sort of?
Well, I mean, like, there's a lot out there, but some are sold as well. Yeah? It doesn't make much difference. See what I mean?
Yeah. Only too clearly.
It is very hard to control other people's manufacturing process. The factories are not owned by us. it would be impossible to own them. Therefore, you're selling blouses at a great rate, and the blouse manufacturer got sick that day. You suddenly aren't selling any blouses because you don't have any to sell. And this, obviously, if it repeats itself too often, would be totally ruinous.
George, can you get the cross ones in next?
This particular shop could have never worked if Fitz had been interfering my side or I had been interfering with his.
A husband rushing home tells his wife that he's just sold 25 tractors. He doesn't get a great reaction. If you're working with your wife, you don't have to go rushing home.
We don't mind staying until 11 at night.
Your minds are working together on the same problem the whole time, so that the business becomes your life, and vice versa.
Hey, steady on. They do come on. Yeah. Don't try and wiggle your toes, yeah? That's nice. You want to bite?
The mail order side of our business is a very exact science almost. In mail order, people are really buying a photograph. The catalogue is the all-important vehicle through which the garments are sold.
What I like about doing the catalogue is it gives us showing people how things can be worn. They can't visualize things together. Maybe they can visualize the dress, but the important thing now is that the other bits that go with it, or the right shoes or the right stockings, or lack of shoes. And this gives me a chance to put things over.
This is why when a catalogue is being photographed, it's an absolutely crucial time. We're at present planning to expand Biba into a large number of international capitals. I think our first store outside of London will probably be in New York.
It would be so nice to be able to go to another place that you could draw ideas and feelings from to bring back to London, and vice versa.
2 more shots. You put those bits on your lap again, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, after you.
We've always tackled everything, not the traditional way. It's been always great fun to disprove people. Most businesses have got so sophisticated that they've forgotten how it all started and why they're there. And we always try to go right back to the beginning and work it right from the start. And that's the exciting part of it, that it isn't just dresses, it's a whole way of life.